really affection for movie monsters. I was always fascinated by the magic behind making movies. But I fell in love with zombie movies and monster movies as a young kid. My world that I come from is skateboarding, and graffiti, and comic books. You always have to pay homage to where that art form started. And for me, it started with painting stuff in the street illegally, and tagging billboards and dumpsters. And without that, I never would be here.
Maybe I'll go.
One of the monsters featured in the mural is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now this lagoon of water over here to your left, we call the Hollywood Ocean. It's called Park Lake to us here on the lot. Was actually where scenes from Creature from the Black Lagoon filmed over 70 years ago. This year, Creature from the Black Lagoon celebrates its 70th anniversary. Well, here in 1974, we added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the classic film The Ten Commandments, the Paramount Picture. The star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance to park the waters for our guests. The glamour tramps seemed to drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea level view. There have also been exploding water mines, torpedoes, prop submarines as part of the action on the lake. You know, the world is right around the corner here on the back lot, and I'm going to prove that to you yet again, because we're going to take all of you on a European vacation. Yes, and don't worry about your passport, you don't need it, just come here. This is Little Europe. Little Europe is great. To be any part of Europe you want it to be. You want to go to Spain? Bienvenidos. Welcome to Spain. You want to go to Paris? Bonjour. Welcome to Paris. You want to go to Italy? Buongiorno. This could be any of those places, simply by changing the language on the signs, a little set decorating windows, changing the flag, of course. The Little Europe actually could be any part of the world. It is doubled as the Caribbean, for example, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Johnny Depp. Also doubled as the Middle East, in the movie Jarhead, Jake Gyllenhaal. And it even served as the afterworld in the comedy series The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Yes, from producer Mike Shore, The Good Place. Mike Shore is also producing a classic spy, Ted Danson, which is what we're issuing here on our lot. Little Europe is also the birthplace of the horror film. A lot of those classic Universal monster movies filmed there. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man. The Little Europe has been the mob of angry villagers who collected the torches looking for the monster. There's a great story about the casting of one of those monster movies. Did you guys know the studio's first choice to play the monster, Frankenstein, was actually Dracula?
Yeah.
That's right. Bela Lugosi, the actor who became famous for playing the Dracula movies, he was the studio's first choice. It ultimately didn't work out. The role was eventually offered to a bit player here on the line. He was an extra at the time. His name was Boris Karloff. As a result of starring as the monster in Frankenstein, Boris became one of the most successful actors of the horror genre. Yes, he was good too, scared her. Yes, now Bela and Boris, they went on to star in many movies together thereafter, but it was often Boris Karloff that would be the star of the film. Bela would be the supporting character, so it really was the role that got away. And Bela, he did go on to play the monster in one of the many incarnations of Frankenstein's monster in the movies. That is him on your screens. And Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Here's some more of those monsters, maniacs, and madmen from Universal Horror.
hearing snakes again. It's early morning still, that's why people are sleeping probably.
Alright guys, we are sitting on what is left of part of our western sets here in the back lot. To your right are just a few of the facades left over from Denver Street. Now Denver Street was where a lot of those Marlon brawls were happening, those classic westerns you might remember. These Marlon brawls, they were coordinated by stunt professionals. Every punch that was thrown was planned, of course. Every glass window that shattered into a million pieces was made of what we call candy glass, sugar glass, never got cut up. Bar stools and tables in the saloon were made of what we call balsa wood. No one got hurt, they just kind of crumbled apart. They fell on them.
Mine was taller.
There he is. That's John Wayne, the king of the Western there. A lot of people don't know this, but John Wayne actually got his start right here at Universal. Now, before he became one of Hollywood's biggest movie stars, he actually used to work in our prop departments. But back then he was known by a very different name. Marion. Marion Michael Morrison, that's his real name. Now right in front of us is the backside of more of our Western sets. Call that 6 Points. 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the lot. And it's actually where Steven Spielberg shot 2 of his films. Scenes from The Color Purple, starring Whoopi Goldberg, were shot on our 6 Points sets back in 1985. 1997, he shot scenes from his movie Amistad on our Western sets as well. If you know anything about Steven Spielberg's career, his filmography, you know that in 1975, his career skyrocketed with the release of Jaws. That was a short trip to New England. Welcome to Amity, where every day is like the 4th of July. Amity was a popular New England resort town until they were terrorized by a great white shark. But Mayor Vaughn wants you to know that these beaches are perfectly safe. And he wants me to remind you that Amity means friendship. Speaking of friends, where's my friend George? Oh no, George is in the water right now. I need to warn George. There's a George! Shark! Shark! Oh no. Oh my goodness. No, guys, don't look. No, don't look. No, oh my goodness, poor George. All right, just stay calm. Stay calm. We're gonna take you over here by these gasoline tanks where it's safe. didn't see a big movie star here on the studio tour. Yes, give it up for Jaws, everybody. Yes, come on. Yeah, a legend. Respect. Jaws, of course, that's his screen name, Jaws. But his real name is actually Bruce. He's a mechanical shark in the production of Jaws, hardest working shark in show business. Do you know he didn't always work?
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radios. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited a moment. We just waited.
The shark was working well enough for a while that it had to be its fault. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Yes, he does. By the way, it was director Steven Spielberg who named the shark Bruce after his lawyer, Bruce Raymer, who apparently was a little shark. You know, scenes from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, starring Harrison Ford, were shot right here in this area that we're heading into right now. This is Old Mexico. It's also part of our Western sets. It's also home to a classic attraction here on the Backlot. Here to tell you all about it is today's show co-host and weather anchor, Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968. Welcome to the only part of the backlot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
I am so proud of everyone. You just survived the flash flood weather effect here on the studio tour. Now, the flash flood was the very first special effect designed specifically for the studio tour back in 1968. We wanted to make sure something exciting happened on every tour. It's an homage to another opening day event here at Universal. To celebrate the gala opening of the Motion Picture Studio in 1915, our founder, Carl Laemmle, had a crew demonstrate a dam break, but it didn't go according to plan. The water went out of control, soaking all of the celebrities and guests. It made for a memorable afternoon. Now that flash flood weather effect has also been featured in movies like the disaster classic Earthquake. It's also featured in the Lady Gaga music video Judas, which she stood in the pathway of the flash flood, performing her own stunt. Alright, so here we are. We're actually in 6 Points right now, the area I was telling you about. Now, 6 Points, along with Old Mexico, are the two oldest sets on the lot. And they call this area 6 Points because during the silent era of film, they could actually shoot 6 different westerns here at the same time. And that's because there were 6 different streets here in 6 Points. And each street was like its own town. It had its own bank, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Now, of course, these sets are old, but they're still very much used to this day. They were shooting new episodes of the series Quantum Leap with Raymond Lee and Ernie Hudson here. Also, movies like Quentin Tarantino's last film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, were filmed here. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. If you saw the movie, there's a scenes where Leo's character,
I wish you were here,
Rick Dalton,
Snake's Army.
shoots a guest starring role on the TV Western Lancer.
A
As
bigger
you head out
bowl.
of 6 Points, you'll see our
Peanut butter.
Park Lake Hollywood Ocean once again, and some of our newest sound stages over there to your left, including stages 30 and 31. That's where they're hard at work shooting the new season of The Voice singing competition show, which shoots around a lot. And stages 32 and 33, that's where director and writer Jordan Peele shot 2 of his last films, Us and Nope. You're going to see the sets, some of the sets from Nope, here in our studio tours today. And we have reached just beyond the halfway mark here on the studio tour. I just want to remind everyone to remain seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord and remain seated on the track.
Hey, what's up, Frank Perez? Thank you for the support.
All right, once again, Amity, over here to your right. Amity is actually one of the many neighborhoods here on the back lot. Yes, it was actually Cabot Cove, Maine, on the series Murder She Wrote, starring the late Angela Lansbury. She filmed here on her lot for 12 seasons. Another neighborhood coming up here to your left is Elm Street. See the yellow
Do you like
house
to
being
see this
blocked
kind of
with the
video,
green
Universal
rooftop? That was actually
Studios?
Boo Radley's
Let
house
me
in
know,
the
number
classic
one.
To Kill a Mockingbird, starring Gregory Peck and Robert Duvall. On your right-hand side is our chicken ranch, Mona's Chicken Ranch, from the best little whorehouse in Texas. It's from
Hell
Dolly
yeah.
Parton Reynolds, an older hit musical in 1982. It's a great time for what we call a practical set. You can shoot both interior and exterior shots, as opposed to what we call a facade, which is just the front and side of the building, which would be the set just behind the chicken ranch over here to the right. And on your left is another neighborhood on the back lot. That is Colonial Streets, which at one point was Stereo Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives, which filmed on a lot for 8 seasons. It's also been home to classic sitcoms like The Munsters, Peanuts Fever. From Colonial Street to Lion Estates, you may remember that the Lion Estates was where Marty McFly lived in the Back to the Future trilogy. Lived in the home of tomorrow, today. Those signs are replicas of the original props made for the 30th anniversary of the first film. Did you know that the movies, the exterior of Marty's house was actually a real house right here in the San Fernando Valley in the nearby neighborhood? But in the first film, when Marty travels to 1955, he finds the signs on the outskirts of town with no homes in sight. One of the producers of Back to the Future is legendary film director Steven Spielberg, who, of course, got his start right here at Universal.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
Well, it's fitting that towards the end of Steven Spielberg
Yo, what up, Peo and Pearl? Thank you for
we
support.
find one of the largest exterior sets from his hit film, War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise.
Smash the like button.
Yes, welcome to the War of the Worlds crash sites. That is an actual 747 jumbo jet that was destroyed specifically for this incredible scene in the film.
The airplane crash site is a perfect example of a set that was all designed around a vision of the speaker.
And so, you sit down and talk about War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 goes down the right now? Couldn't believe it. Because it's just something you don't see.
I go, good. Close your eyes, okay? Now close.
Large-scale sets like this have been a part of the studio tour for several decades before production destroyed the suburban neighborhood for the film. The Site B of the Lost World Jurassic Park. Prior to that, it served as whimsical Whoville, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. Well, it doesn't get more iconic than the Psycho House over here to your right. Yes, that is the house.
Hey, Miss
that
Woodall,
originates
thank you for the support.
from
Appreciate
the
it.
Classic thriller Psycho.
Does anyone know where I'm at? Let me
From
know.
director Alfred Hitchcock, starring Anthony Perkins and Janet Leigh. How about another Hollywood icon? It's the Hollywood sign. Now, the Hollywood sign over here to your right is an official replica of the, of course, LA's biggest landmark, the Hollywood sign. Which, by the way, is celebrating its 100th year. That's how long the Hollywood sign's
Well,
been
catching the
around.
next one, everyone. Thank you for your support.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it. Catching the next one. I'll be going live again, so stay tuned, everyone. Thank you for the support. I'm out. Thank you. You're here to appreciate. Watch today's video on YouTube,
Well, guess
everyone.
what? Just for our 60th anniversary.
Thank you for Midwest Otter. Appreciate it. Paid Emperor, Snakes Army, Midwest Otter. I'll go live later on. Stay tuned.
Peace. So remember to gather all of your